Justice, the verses for Justice was something I wrote several years ago. I remember it took me a long time. It's a very simple melody, but it took me like 2 or 3 days to write it, to get the nuances just right, just right for me. It had some different lyrics, and the chorus was different, and I never liked the chorus that I had, originally written, and the bridge was different too. And we were, in the early stages of working on the album, and I mapped it out in the studio, and I played it for Tristan, and he liked it, and it hung around for about a year. I didn't like the chorus that I had. There was something that wasn't right. And I came up with a new chord progression and showed Tristan, and we wrote the new melody together, and then he wrote the bridge. And I think shortly thereafter, I started writing the lyrics. I don't know where the idea came from. Despite the fact that I'm a lawyer and work in the justice system, although I don't practice civil litigation anymore. So I was drawing, I guess, drawing upon my experience as a lawyer. I just hope I don't get disbarred for the song. We're not, as lawyers in Ontario, I'm not sure if it's the same everywhere else in the in jurisdictions that practice common law type of law. Lawyers and other, I think, judges aren't allowed to criticize the profession publicly, which I think is kind of silly, because who's in the best position to criticize than those who work in it. Ostensibly the policy behind that is to shore up confidence in the system for the general public, who have to wind their way through the at times Kafkaesque maze that we call our justice system. So I do understand that, because at the other end of the spectrum, it's what alternative is there? Anarchy. That's not going to work. So having said that, I did want to have my say, and I guess it's a little scathing, and I hope I don't get disbarred. The song was, once it was written, I remember the day we finished writing it, we hadn't settled on the singer who was going to sing the album for us. We were, toying with the idea of having more than one singer. And we had placed an ad on Craigslist, and this guy had responded, and he kind of knew who I was through a mutual friend. And we said, come on over. We've just written a song. We need someone to sing it. And so he showed up a couple of hours later, and we played him the song and worked out the key, and he recorded it in 2 or 3 takes. And the next week we had him back just to do some, a couple of punch-ins here and there, and we were working on it, and he did a great job singing it. But when we decided to, decided that we wanted to work with Aaron, you know, for the whole album. You know, we asked her to sing it, and she just did an incredible job on the vocals. It's just, her performance is so nuanced and powerful. It's one of our favorite tracks, and I think it's one of her favorite tracks too. Again, it was like one of those. Well, I don't know if this is common for everyone else, but it was one of those pieces that like took 2 years to finish. Well, actually more than 2 years, because I had started it, you know, 15 years ago or 20 years ago. You know, once we cut the vocal, it took us quite some time to develop the arrangement or the backing track. We tried different things, and we revisited the track several times over, you know, a period of 2 years until we felt that we got it right, and, you know, we're happy with it. And it was finished, I think, in April or May of 2012. Yeah, this year. So that was again, it was a great moment for us to complete it, because it had been, you know, had taken so long to get to that stage. So it was nice to put that one to bed. And Jeff Wolpert just did a fantastic job mixing it. It was the first song that we mixed with him. We had been, that was one of the other things that made the album take so long, is originally I thought I was going to mix it here in our home studio. But I've never been a good mix engineer. It's just, it's a black art to me. And I had bought several books on mixing, and I thought, oh, okay, you know, I taught myself, well, you know, I went to law school and passed the bar exam, and so, you know, and I became a lawyer, so I can do this with the same thing, with being a sound mixer, and, you know, I can study and whatnot, and I just wasn't satisfied. So we started looking at other studios in the city, and went up to Phase One Studios and did an experiment, because they have 3 big rooms up there, and we weren't sure if we wanted to mix on the SSL or the API, so we spent a day, half day in one room, half day in the other room, and SSL won out. It's the SSL duality. But we were looking for, you know, someone who could, you know, create, you know, something wonderful sonically. And we spoke with several people, and tried working with a couple, and it didn't work out. And I remember the day, you know, we started with Jeff, and I was like, oh gosh, I hope this works out, because we've kind of run through the list of, you know, people that you know, were referred to us, and it did work out. It started out as a 3 or 4 day booking, and we ended up, you know, extending it for 2 weeks, and then going back again and again. And once each song was finished, we had to mix it. So that was also part of the reason why, you know, the album took so long to make, is we were looking for, you know, certain key people to work on it, and finding Jeff was a wondrous piece of the puzzle, and it was nice to have it in place.